Disney Channel is synonymous with childhoods across North America. Along with iconic TV shows, they also gave us iconic original TV movies, commonly known as DCOMs. These movies not only cemented their place in our childhoods, but also started careers and became iconic in their own ways. Some movies were successful enough to have sequels and become trilogies, which were most often well received. However, there's one DCOM that is unlikely to get a lot of love on the internet or otherwise, and that movie is Teen Beach 2. I feel like I am reading this off of a paper, so if I look down, that is why. And before I start this video, I just want to preface, AI did not write this. I did. I sat down and I watched the movie and I had all these thoughts, so I wrote them down and I compiled them and I printed it out. So AI did not write this. Me and my angry little head did. I do not support the use of AI. Use your heads, please. Teen Beach 2 is the sequel of Teen Beach Movie, a DCOM that premiered in 2013 to 8.4 million viewers, including me, and became the second highest rated Disney Channel movie. The script was written by Vince Marcello, Mark Landry, and Robert Horn, and the story is also by Vince Marcello and Mark Landry. This is important for later, so remember those names. The movie follows teenagers Mac and Brady when they get stuck in 60s movie West Side Story. While they have to figure out a way back home, they also figure out things about themselves, the characters in the movie that aren't as shallow as they thought, and who they want to be as well. Teen Beach Movie has all the great aspects of a DCOM. Since it's a musical, the cast is made up of talented singers with eye-catching choreography to follow. The characters in West Side Story are hilariously sarcastic and appear to be more than what they seem. And who can forget the dreamily endless summer vacation vibe that the movie gives off? I commonly meet people who are Disney Channel kids such as me who love Teen Beach Movie, but as soon as you bring up the second movie, instead of outbursts of nostalgia and fangirling, you're met with a grimace or head shaking. It's almost an unspoken protocol that when a DCOM is successful, it gets a sequel. Teen Beach Movie is no different. As a sequel, Teen Beach 2 was announced in 2014 and released in 2015. However, something wasn't right with this movie for many reasons. The logic of the first movie is entirely discarded, the characters are completely different people than who we initially met, and the ending is confusing and very not well received. These reasons might be the reasons why Teen Beach 2 is the worst DCOM sequel yet. And as I say that, I want to say, Rise of Red does not exist in my world, and I don't really see it as a sequel because Descendants 2 is the sequel to Descendants. Rise of Red is just some thing that happened and I don't like to discuss it.
It's Jasmine and Aladdin.
Call us Aladdin.
Before we dive into the movie, we need to take into account that Teen Beach 2 was written by different people, Billy and Matt Eddy, and the story is by Dan Berenson and Robert Horn. If you were listening earlier, only one of these names sounds familiar. If the team from the first movie had also worked on this one, all of the points and notes I took about the movie that we're about to cover might not have happened, and Teen Beach 2 might not be as infamous and forgettable as it easily became. The turning point of Teen Beach 2 is basically flipped from the first one. Instead of Mac and Brady going into the movie world, the characters from the movie world come into Mac and Brady's world. The concept was touched on during a post-credit scene in the first movie, but it appears as mainly a joke, and according to the first movie, it wouldn't exactly work. The logic in Teen Beach 2 that in order to travel from one world to the next, you need this necklace that Layla gave to Mac at the end of the first movie. At the beginning of the film, Mac loses this necklace in the ocean, and she doesn't seem very upset about it or tries to look for it, at all. And it somehow ends up in the West Side Story world, so Layla uses this to go and find Mac. However, because Layla and Tanner can't stay in the real world because they'll disappear.
Brady, do you understand what's happening? The whole essence of who they are is changing. They could be stuck here forever, or the whole fabric of our reality could just rip open. We gotta get them back.
Well, maybe we should just tell them where they're from, what they do.
Are we worried what that might do to them?
We're running out of options, Mac.
Layla, Tanner!
Layla questions how Mac and Brady made it to their world when Mac didn't have a necklace yet. The answer is Mac's surfboard. But if you can't use a surfboard when there's no surf,
We have to go now, otherwise we're gonna disappear and the movie will be gone forever.
But how? You need waves to surf.
how are they gonna get there? The answer is that they pry the flower off of the surfboard and put it on this electric surfboard thingy that Brady invented. This makes zero sense when we tie it to the first movie. First off, in Teen Beach 1, Mac and Brady spend the whole movie waiting for a storm. A storm is how they got to West Side Story and is presumably how they will get back to their world. If they could have used a surfboard the entire time, they wasted their time. I know the movie is essentially about them staying there and realizing what they truly want when they get back to their real world, but Mac very much at the beginning does not want to stay in West Side Story, so if they could have used a surfboard the whole time, they should have just tried that as soon as they got there and realized that they were in a musical. There is a clip where Mac is surfing with Tanner. She's on the surfboard, there's plenty of surf, so why didn't she just go home then and there? It's true that it doesn't exactly look stormy when Mac and Brady leave West Side Story due to them dismantling the evil weather machine, but no time has passed when they return, and back in their world it's still a little bit stormy in the sky, and right before they left there was a storm going on in very massive waves. Hi there, I look super weird because I'm on my iPad, I'm editing, and I just look a mess right now. But anyway, I'm just popping in here just to say that I was wrong about this. There is a storm in the West Side Story world. I don't know if the weather machine exploding causes a storm or if this is just like a plot hole. But there is actually a storm in the West Side Story world, but it's after Mac and Brady have said goodbye to everyone, and it's right before they come back to their world. So I'm just assuming that they're in the ocean for some amount of time, just swimming out into the middle of nowhere, waiting for something. So yeah, either way, the second movie still dismantles the you need a storm, XYZ, whatever, which just proves the second movie shouldn't have been made, but whatever. So why didn't Layla and Tanner wait for a storm to get back? And if it's the flower on the surfboard that can transport you in between worlds, in the first movie, shouldn't it have just been Mac who went to West Side Story and not Brady? All in all, maybe it's just the magical flower on the necklace and the board, but either way, this is not very thought out at all. Circling back to the characters being different people, we have Layla's love of surfing. In Teen Beach 2, Layla takes on interest in things like calculus and studying and very schoolish things, and doesn't really care about the beach at all.
Oh, Layla, hi! Want to hang out? I've been working on some new looks. Check them out. I call this one thoughtful handsome. This one's soulful smolder.
Those are wonderful, Tanner, but I can't. We have calculus homework. It's so exciting.
Which is fine, but in the first film, which apparently wasn't that long ago within the movie timeline, I think it's literally like 2 weeks, Layla wants to surf. It's this huge secret that she tells Mac and confesses to Tanner, but you would never know that Layla likes surfing in Teen Beach 2 because they never mention it. The characters from West Side Story are majorly different in the sequel as well. When Mac tells Layla that girls can do anything boys can do, everyone seems to be okay with it, and Layla takes on new freedom at the end of the first movie. But all of a sudden in Teen Beach 2, things are the same as before. Layla wants to be her own person and not just Tanner's girlfriend. And in the first movie, she obviously wasn't just that. She's easily a fan favorite. But for some reason in Teen Beach 2, everyone is surprised by Layla's outspokenness.
Why don't I come with you? I mean, all that happens when you guys go off is we stand here and do nothing. Maybe I can help.
You did it!
Of course! Because girls can do anything boys can do.
I've never been beaten on the waist before, especially not by a girl.
I think that girls can do anything guys can do.
Well, if I was gonna think something right now, I think that people aren't always what I think. But girls aren't supposed to.
The characters are also more exaggerated, and Tanner is reduced to some dumb guy on the side. And while Tanner does have ditzy nature that is retained from the first,
What?
it's more apparent now and very, what is the word that I'm looking for? Flanderized, I think that's what it is. It's more apparent and Tanner is less important, to the point where Layla considers him to be selfish, which feels out of place. Both for Tanner to be selfish and out of place for Layla to say that he is selfish.
Isn't it amazing to hear him like this? I mean, he's caring about somebody other than himself. Oh, it's fantastic.
More little details would be that Max stated in the first movie that she would switch schools after the first part of high school.
After we lost my mom, the deal I made with my aunt was that I could stay here with my grandfather for the first part of high school. And then when it was time to get serious, I would leave with my aunt and go to the school, like she did.
I assumed that they meant the first half of high school, or at least the first year of high school. And in America, high school is 4 years. So if they meant first part of high school and they meant first year, that would mean that in Teen Beach 2, Mac would have to been going into sophomore year or like the second year of high school. And if they meant first half would be 2. So then in Teen Beach 2, they should be going to junior year. But in Teen Beach 2, they're going into senior year. Maybe their school has different grades, or maybe they just did this to add a college conflict, as Mac argues with Brady about not taking school seriously or getting into college seriously. They also throw in the fact that Mac and Brady met while Brady was watching West Side Story on his tablet on the beach.
It all happened right here. You were walking to the beach, I sat there watching West Side Story on my tablet.
This is thrown in to set up the widely hated ending. When Layla and Tanner go back to their own world, Layla changes the movie. We'll talk about this in Layla's character later on. But because she changes the movie, West Side Story becomes Layla, Queen of the Beach. And so Mac and Brady never meet. And again, in the first movie, they never once mentioned how Mac and Brady met. And this was invented just to set up the ending. And besides, Mac's grandpa is shown to be a major fan of West Side Story.
Oh, 1962, surfers, bikers, best movie ever made.
How can you two like this silliness, especially you, Grandpa?
Silliness. Mac, my dear, this movie defined an entire culture.
Exactly.
But he doesn't appear at all in Teen Beach 2, which is very strange to me. Allegedly, Mac had never heard of West Side Story until she came across Brady on the beach with his tablet in Teen Beach 2. But how could that be true if her own grandfather loves the movie and has a poster of it in his surf shop? We've already covered a little bit about Layla, but we're going to discuss her even more as she is a huge part of both movies. Her arc in Teen Beach 2 is kind of sad. In Teen Beach 2, Layla is tired of her 60s movie life. When she travels to the real world, as previously mentioned, she discovers she likes things such as math and other things she probably doesn't get to do back home. She discovers that she loves it and she wants to stay, until Mac and Brady tell her that she's not real. She's a movie character. Her and Tanner have to go back to the real world, and this really upsets her because Layla does not want to be a movie character. This might be my own personal sympathy seeking through, but it almost feels cruel of the writers to do this to her considering she is a fictional character times 2. Despite this, Layla goes back anyway because she quite literally cannot stay in Mac and Brady's world, and she changes the movie, making it her own, starring herself, not Tanner. I would say this is a positive aspect in a movie associated with mostly negative feelings. No complaints towards Layla turning the story into a feminist one, even though she is still stuck in a story, something she does not want. And I feel very bad for her because I love Layla so much. I also want to point out that a lot of people do ship Mac and Brady, and I did really like them when I was a kid. And within the first movie, they are definitely cute. But the second movie, and this is another reason why it just should not have been made, it really, to me, it just reinforces the fact that Mac really saw Brady as a summer fling and didn't want to date him for a very long time because she wants to focus on college and all these grown-up things, and Brady just doesn't really care. And it doesn't really seem like they trust each other very much. Brady hides the fact that he's like making his own surfboard the whole movie because he doesn't think Mac will understand, or she's too preoccupied with whatever. But when she does find out, she was like, I wish you told me about this. And the whole movie just sets up their relationship very weirdly, and then it just completely erases it in the end, and it's just very weird. Another huge part of this movie I see online is that everyone raves about how sad it is that Mac and Brady forget that they met each other. But no one talks about how sad it is that Mac forgets who Layla is. By the end of Teen Beach 2, Layla is the main character of Mac's favorite movie, a movie character, something she didn't want to be. But to Layla, Mac is the girl who taught her to go after what she wants, to change her own destiny, and who gave her friendship that meant the world to Layla. Honestly, both of them had more chemistry with each other than they did with their respective leads. You didn't hear that from me. But Mac doesn't remember any of it. This is not important. Well, it's a little important, but it's just a little tidbit. After West Side Story becomes Layla Queen of the Beach, it obviously becomes a feminist movie. Mac and Brady meet each other again at the end of the movie, and it's not Brady's favorite movie anymore. And when Mac says that it's a feminist movie, he says it's not really his thing. Like, okay, misogynist.
I'm not sure that movie's exactly my jam.
That's another out of character concept because Brady from Teen Beach 1 probably wouldn't have said that. Part of the charm of the first movie is that it's set in summer. This might be my personal opinion seeping through, but when school is added into the picture, it erases some of the charm that made Teen Beach movies so special in the first place. The songs were also not as memorable, in my opinion. If you like them, that's okay. Aside from On My Own and Gotta Be Me, none of them really stuck out to me. And there's also a really strange cover of Fallen For Ya, which I'm just gonna forget that happened. That's How We Do, which is a song that closes the movie, had a moment of popularity on TikTok, but aside from that, the soundtrack is nowhere near the first one. Other DCOM sequels include High School Musical 2, The Cheetah Girls 2, Descendants 2, and Camp Rock 2. It's been a minute since I've seen Camp Rock 2, but my best friend absolutely loves it, so we'll take your word for that. But as for the other ones, all of them worked so well because there was a story to be told with these characters again. None of the sequels, to me, seem unnecessary, and some of them are even better than the first one. I know that a lot of people love Descendants 2 more than the first one, and High School Musical 2 is so popular. But for Teen Beach 2, maybe in another world with the same writers and creators as the first, it could have turned out okay. But for the most part, Teen Beach movie works as a standalone and not as a duology. Another DCOM that I've always loved is Lemonade Mouth, which is a standalone. While a sequel was in development, one was never made because they felt that the story was fine with where it left off. I don't even want to think about what kind of pointless drama that they would make in a second movie. There is a second book, but from what I've heard, it's very short. Teen Beach 2 is the epitome of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Overall, Teen Beach 2 is confusing and mostly forgettable when reminiscing on past Disney Channel days. To make matters worse, a third Teen Beach movie is in development with none of the original cast, which is in the realm of the Cheetah Girls 4 and the new Descendants movie. It is very obvious that the first movie should have been left alone. While it remains iconic, it's unlikely that the second one is likely to make waves on the nostalgia communities of social media. In comparison to other DCOM sequels, this one is better off being left out of DCOM marathons. That is all I have to say for today. I hope you guys liked this video. If you disagree with me, please state your case in the comments. That's okay to disagree with me, and I love hearing other perspectives. Let me know what your favorite DCOM is. Mine obviously is Teen Beach Movie. It is my favorite DCOM. It used to be Lemonade Mouth, but Lemonade Mouth is second place. But anyway, yeah. I really have not made a video in a very long time. When I made my video about 13, I was 14 and I'm 17. So it's definitely been a minute. I'm very sorry. And I don't really know if I'll keep posting, but I just finished senior year, but I leave for camp in like a week. So I don't know. I might film another video and have it like edited and ready to go. Just so that I have something, but I really do want to come back to YouTube because I like doing it. I really enjoyed talking about Teen Beach 2. Well, I didn't enjoy watching it, but I enjoyed talking about it. And I just love Disney Channel in general. You can't really see, but I'm wearing a Wizards shirt. So yeah, if you guys have any Disney Channel videos that you want me to make or any Disney Channel sequels that you think are worse than Teen Beach 2, state your case. But that is all for now.